It is not just President Biden who believes the Russians are set to invade. Defense Secretary Lloyd is now describing Russian forces poised on the border as uncoiling and poised to strike. We met up with the secretary on Friday in Poland, where he met with U.S. forces supporting our NATO allies. Austin says he is still hoping for a diplomatic solution, even though he believes an invasion from Putin's Russia is imminent.
He's been very deliberate in terms of assembling the right kind of combat and combat support capabilities in the border region. And so he has a number of options available to him now. And he could attack in short order.
This is not a bluff.
I don't believe it's a bluff. I think it's he's assembled the right kinds of things that you would need to conduct a successful invasion.
Over the past week, Russian officials have insisted troops stationed along the border were returning home. But in reality, their force has only been growing. Now more than 150,000 Russian soldiers surround Ukraine.
He's got things like medical tents and nurses. You would never have seen that if you were going to be withdrawing your troops.
Exactly. If they were redeploying to garrison, we wouldn't be seeing the kinds of things in terms of not only combat power, but also logistical support, medical support, combat aviation that we've seen in the region.
You've been at war. We're sitting in a room full of armored vehicles and tanks. Describe, if you will, why this would be different. Would we see tanks rolling into Kyiv?
Well, you could see that. I mean, that's highly likely. You could see that. You could see a significant amount of combat power move very quickly down to take Kyiv. So in terms of the types of things that could happen, one only need to look at what's on the other side of the Ukrainian border. You know, we see a lot of tanks and armored vehicles there. We see a lot of artillery. We see rocket forces. If he employs that kind of combat power, it will certainly create enormous casualties within the civilian population. And so this could create a tragedy, quite frankly, in terms of refugee flow and displaced people. So this is potentially very, very dangerous.
How confident are you, given what's happened in the past with Afghanistan, with Iraq? Are you absolutely confident in the intelligence you're seeing now?
We have high confidence in the things that we're looking at, of course, you know, in terms of being able to predict exactly what's going to happen going forward. You never can. I mean, you can assess what you see, present it to you, and what you're seeing happening on the ground. But again, I think you have to look at every possibility, which is what we do.
If he invades, what happens then? What's the immediate response from the U.S. and NATO?
The sanctions that we talked about, we're very serious about. And these are sanctions that will have effects that Mr. Putin has not realized before. You know, the sad part about this, Martha, is that it may not affect Mr. Putin to the degree that it's going to affect the average Russian. And, you know, the decisions that he's making now will bring about a lot of pain and suffering on his comrades in Russia.
Americans could feel the impact of those sanctions, too. Russia is the third largest oil producer in the world. Any disruptions to the global oil market could create shortages in Europe and increase gas prices in the U.S.
Ukraine is a long way away. I think most Americans probably until the last couple of months didn't really know where it was or pay much attention to it. So really focus, if you will, on why this battle, a conventional war really, would be so different and so harmful, and how much it would change the world, really.
Mm-hmm. Why we care about this and why Americans should care about it, you've heard us talk all along about, you know, the importance of maintaining a rules-based international order. No one country should be able to dictate to another country what it can choose to do in terms of who it aligns itself with, or no one country should be able to redefine another country's boundaries at will.
The administration insists American troops won't go into Ukraine itself, that forces based in Poland and elsewhere in the region are there only to defend our NATO allies.
You were meeting with U.S. troops today. We were talking to some of those U.S. troops. They're not going into Ukraine. But what is the possibility of some sort of engagement for them if Vladimir Putin moves into Ukraine, which is right next door?
President Biden's been very clear about, the fact that we're not going to employ forces in Ukraine. And we will make sure that we do everything possible to protect our troops and our Polish partners so that there isn't a spillover cross boundary. But this is something that we'll be on the lookout for, and we'll be thoughtful about making sure that we've taken the right steps to try to prevent that.
Do you think there is any risk to our troops?
There's always, I think our troops will be fine. We will be very diligent in terms of thinking through the range of possibilities and putting the right things in place to ensure that we've done everything we can to protect our troops.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.